What you think? I'm gonna let you roll in a Hyundai?
What's up folks, this is Mark here from Street Effects, and today we're picking up yet another car to add to our collection. If you've watched any of our previous videos, you probably will know that this is not something in our usual MO. It's completely out of left field, and if you'd have said to me 10 years ago that Mark, one day you will be driving a Hyundai, I would have thought you're nuts, or I must have done something terrible along my life path that has led me to this particular moment.
What you think? I'm gonna let you roll in a Hyundai?
We got a test car from Hyundai to drive around for a couple of weeks, and we loved the i30N so much that we ended up having to buy our own. Being that they are sold out around the country, we had to actually beg to get this one. It's a demo car that's due to arrive in a couple of hours. So we're heading down to take delivery of this i30N. We're gonna chuck it straight on the dyno. Then we're going to take it to the racetrack, put it through its paces, see what she can do, completely standard. Might throw some performance rubber on it. Yeah, like when we had it as a test car, it was just incredible fun. So I'm looking forward to today. Got my Hyundai hat on and everything. So there you go, let's see how this thing goes. There she is, being unloaded now. Let's get it on the dyno and see what sort of power I can put down at the hubs.
Look at me with a brand new Hyundai!
Alright, so we've got our new i30N, and what we're doing is we're going to chuck it on the dyno to see what it actually makes. I don't think anyone else has done this yet. So factory they're quoted as having 271 horsepower or 202 kilowatts. So let's see what it actually puts out at the front wheels. Should be pretty efficient being front wheel drive and a manual gearbox. So in a couple of moments we will see what power it can put out. I suppose we'll try it in non-N mode and N mode and see whether there's any difference in things like whether the exhaust valves are open and closed and if it actually makes any difference in that regards. And we can also do things like work out exactly how much boost it makes, because that has the overboost feature and a few other things. And nobody actually would tell us how much boost that these things put out. The factory boost gauge just has a bar graph. It doesn't tell us anything else. So head on the dyno and we'll see what it does. How much power do you reckon it's going to make? Hey? So, what power you reckon? Factory 202 kilowatts, which is 271 horsepower. What do you reckon?
It will make, at the wheel...
You can't do a Brennan and give 100 horsepower range like you did last time.
246 horsepower at the wheels.
Really? That high? That's
I just went 46 Valentino Rossi.
What's factory power?
202 kilowatts, which is 271.
Manual gearbox?
Manual, yeah.
230.
230?
246, 230. 252.
Oh, no drivetrain loss at all.
This is before you're in the cooler. This is before you're in the cooler.
On overboost. Giving Hyundai some credit for square off terrain. I have to underrate these things.
What's that rating?
271 horsepower stock.
211.
211, alrighty. I think you've chosen the lowest, so...
Yeah. Okay, so sports, rev match, ESD, and
Sport Plus.
sports.
And in the N mode as well.
And chassis, you got Sport Plus, steering.
Steering is the most important one on the dyno.
Oh yeah, and then biggest one. But for dyno, it's so. We press it once, it's on ESC Sport, down here.
Yeah.
But what you gotta do is hold it down for 5 seconds.
So hold this button down for 5 seconds.
Yep.
And
all this comes up.
But it's,
and it tells you your crash.
oh, it's got a little, yeah, there
It's
we go.
like
So it disables everything.
it disables everything.
Okay, cool. Alright, so we're just getting ready for our first track day. It's the second day we've had the car. And we're chucking on these air brake ducts. So the car's completely stock. Just since we're going to be doing a bunch of laps, these things help direct a bit of cold air to the air ducts because the factory ones are fairly small. They just zip tie onto the control arm, so pretty straightforward there. You'd be set if this is all you had to do all day, wouldn't it? It'd be a nice easy job.
Maybe this could be the future.
Alrighty,
Will you be stocking these, Mark?
we will be. I believe that might be a good idea. So we're going to try it first on the standard Pirelli P0s, and we've also got a set of the Trofeo Rs as well, which we'll see how we go back to back at Queensland Raceway. Getting your gym on. This is what we usually would be driving out of the track, well, when it works, or something like this. This is a little bit different for us. They fit in there nicely.
Almost designed for it.
Looks like it is. Alright, so we literally picked this car up at 6 AM this morning, threw it on the dyno, and now we are at Queensland Raceway, and we're going to go and see what sort of lap times this can do, completely standard, and we're going to do some back-to-back testing with Trofeo Rs as well, versus the standard Pirelli P0s. So hopefully we stay on the black stuff, and we'll come back with some data and compare it to some before and after times. Alright, let's get to it. We're going to chuck the Trofeos on now and see how we go with those. We're going to have to take it fairly easy because semi-slicks, when they're brand new, are a little bit slippery. Alright, this time we're going to see how we go on the Trofeo R tyres. See if we can shave some time off. They're brand new tyres though. It might take a few laps for them to come off being brand new, so they're a bit green at the moment. Dude, get the f away! So I think you could say it's been a pretty eventful day for a first day of ownership of a Hyundai i30 for most people, I suppose. Got it at 6 AM, straight on the dyno. Don't worry, it had been running. This was a car that had already had 1,000 Ks on it, so before you argue and say, oh, you shouldn't put it on the dyno, whatever. Then it went on the dyno, we made nearly 260 horsepower out of the hubs. Straight off the dyno, got packed up with a set of Trofeo R tyres. We put them on the track back to back. We set lap times that weren't too far off. It was my first day as a front wheel drive driver around a racetrack. I'm going to clarify something. We did post a bit of our lap time on Facebook, and there was people claiming that that we weren't able to overtake a particular driver because our car wasn't fast enough. In the type of series that we're in, it's called Time Attack. The regulations state that you can only overtake on the straights. If there's a car up your ass around the corners, regulations and driver etiquette generally says you let the faster car pass. We were out of a field of 83 drivers, which is why there was so much traffic. We placed 21st. Now that includes Lotuses, Porsches. There was probably only 2 or 3 of those cars in front of us that were as stock as we were. So pretty happy with the results we got. Essentially, we were only 4 seconds off the fastest car of the day. I also had a little bit of a moment when I threw on the new Trofeo R tyres. I came out of the pits and I went to turn a little bit aggressively just to try and shake off the stickers and the moulding compound off the tyres, and had a little bit of fun on the infield. But for Hyundai, certainly didn't get embarrassed, and probably the worst thing that you will experience owning one of these Hyundai N's is that people in front of you don't want to let you pass because they're like, I'm not going to let that Hyundai pass me. Now we're going to start pulling it apart and looking at what upgrades we can do, and hopefully we'll be able to give you some results about comparative intercoolers and oil coolers and some different things like that. Probably do something with these brakes as well. But yeah, it's given us a good platform and a good basis to start from, so can only get faster from here.